Let us do the problem set 6. Question number 1 is write the correct alternative answers for each of the following questions. First question, for different types of investments, what is the maximum permissible amount under section 80C of income tax? The maximum permissible amount under 80C of income tax is rupees 1,50,000, which is option A. Second question, a person has earned income during the financial year 2017-18. Then his assessment year will be 2018-19, that is option number B. Now, question number 2. Mr. Shekhar spends 60% of income. From his balance, he donates rupees 300 to an orphanage. He is then left with rupees 3,200. What is his income? Let the income of Shekhar be rupees X. Shekhar spends 60% of his income. Now, Shekhar's expenditure is 60% of X. Therefore, the amount remaining with Shekhar is 100 minus 60 percentage of X, that is 40% of X. It will be 40 upon 100 multiplied to X, that is equal to 0.4X. Let it be equation number 1. Now, from the balance, he donates rupees 300 to an orphanage. Therefore, amount left with Shekhar is 0.4x minus 300. Now, the amount left with him is 3,200. Therefore, 3,200 is equal to 0.4x minus 300. Therefore, taking 300 to the left side, we have 3,200 plus 300 is equal to 0.4x. We get 3,500 is equal to 0.4x. Therefore, x will be equal to 3,500 upon 0.4. Now multiplying by 10 in the numerator and denominator, the decimal point will be removed. Therefore, 3,500 multiplied to 10 will be 35,000 divided by 4. Therefore, x is equal to 8,750. This means the income of Mr. Shekhar is rupees 8,750. Question number 3. Mr. Hiralal invested rupees 2,15,000 . So amount received by Hiralal is rupees 3,05,000. Therefore, Hiralal's profit will be equal to amount received minus amount invested, which will be equal to 3,05,000 minus 2,15,000 equal to rupees 90,000. Therefore, Mr. Hiralal's percentage of profit is 90,000 upon 2,50,000 multiplied by 100, which is equal to 41.86 percentage. Now we will consider for Mr. Ramnik Lal. The principal amount he invested was 1,40,000 with the rate of interest 8% and number of years 2 years, and compound interest will be equal to amount minus principal. The amount of compounded is principal multiplied by 1 plus r upon 100 raised to power n. Subtracting principal, we can take here p common. So inside the bracket we will have 1 plus r by 100 raised to power n minus 1. Here the principal amount is 1,40,000 multiplied to 1 plus 8 upon 100 raised to power 2 minus 1. So that is equal to 1,40,000 multiplied to 1 plus 0.08 raised to power 2 minus 1. Now 1.08 whole square is 1.1664 minus 1 inside the bracket multiplied to 1,40,000. So 1,40,000 multiplied to 0.1664, we will get it as 23,296. The profit of Ramaniklal's percentage, we will find it as 23,296 upon 1,40,000 multiplied by 100, which is equal to 16.64 percentage. So the percentage gain of Mr. Hiralal is 41.86% and Ramanikal is 16.64%. Therefore, Mr. Hiralal's investment was more profitable. Question number 4. Here, in this question, at the start of a year, there were 24,000 rupees in a saving account. After adding rupees 56,000 to this, the entire amount was invested in the bank at 7.5% compound interest. What will be the total amount after 3 years? Now, in the bank, there was already 24,000 rupees and we have added rupees 56,000. Therefore, the principal amount is rupees 80,000. Rate of interest is 7.5%. N is, that is number of years, 3 years, and compounded. Total amount after 3 years with the formula P is into 1 plus R by 100 raised to power n. Substituting the values, P as 80,000 multiplied to 1 plus 7.5 upon 100 raised to power 3. 80,000 multiplied to 1 plus 0.075 with the decimal number raised to power 3. So adding 1 to this number, we get 1.075 raised to power 3 multiplied to 80,000. So 80,000 multiplied to 1.242297, we get 99,383 into 0.76. Therefore, the total amount after 3 years is 99,383.76 rupees. Now question number 5. Mr. Manohar gave 20% of his income to his elder son, 30% of his income to his younger son, and he gave 10% of the balance income as donation to a school. He still had rupees 1,80,000 for himself. What was Mr. Manohar's income? Now here, let the income of Mr. Manohar be rupees X. Therefore, amount given to elder son is 20% of X. Amount given to the younger son is 30% of X. So total amount given to both the sons is 20 plus 30% of X, and that is equal to 50% of X. Now amount remaining with Mr. Manohar is 100 minus 50% of X. Therefore 50% of X is remaining with him. That will be 50 upon 100 into X. So taking into decimal, we have 0.5x. Let it be equation number 1. Now he gave 10% of the balance income as donation to a school. Therefore, amount donated to school is 10% of 0.5x, which will be equal to 10 upon 100 multiplied to 0.5x. So removing the zeros, we get 0.5 upon 10, which will be equal to 0.05x. Let it be equation number 2. Now, amount remaining with Mr. Manohar after donation to the school is 0.5x minus 0.05x. So, that is equal to 0.45x. Now, Manohar he still have 1,80,000 rupees for himself. Therefore, 1,80,000 is equal to 0.45x. Therefore, x is equal to 1,80,000 upon 0.45. Now, multiplying with 100 in the numerator and denominator so that the decimal will be removed, we get x is equal to 4 lakh. Therefore, the income of Mr. Manohar is rupees 4 lakh. Question number 6. Kailash used to spend 85% of his income. When his income increased by 36%, his expense also increased by 40% of his earlier expense. How much percentage of his earning he saves now? Let the income of Kailash be X. So Kailash spends 85% of his income. Therefore, Kailash's expenditure will be equal to 85% of X. That is 85 upon 100 multiplied to X. So that is equal to 0.85X in decimal. Now Kailash's income increased by 36%. Therefore, his new income will be equal to X plus 36% of X. So that is equal to x plus 36 upon 100 into x. Now taking it into decimal, we get x plus 0.36x. So x taking as common, we get in the bracket 1 plus 0.536. It will be equal to 1.36x, which is taken as equation number 1. Now Kailash's expense also increased by 40%. Therefore, Kailash's new expenditure will be equal to 0.85x plus 40% of 0.85x. So that is equal to 0.85x plus 40 upon 100 into 0.85x. Taking into decimal, we get 0.85x plus 0.4 multiplied to 0.85x. Now here in both the terms we have 0.85x common. So taking 0.85x common, we get 1 plus 0.4. So that will be equal to 0.85x multiplied to 1.4. When we multiply this, we get 1.19x. So let it be equation number 2. Now, Kailash's new saving will be equal to Kailash's new income minus his new expenditure. So that is equal to 1.36x minus 1.19x. So that is equal to 0.17x. Now therefore, percentage of Kailash's new saving is 0.17x upon 1.36x multiplied to 100. So that is equal to 12.5%. So Kailash saves 12.5% of his new earning. Question number 7. Total income of Ramesh, Suresh and Preeti is rupees 8,07,000. The percentage of their expense are 75%, 80% and 90% respectively. If the ratio of their saving is 16:17:12, then find the annual saving of each of them. Here, let the annual income of Ramesh, Suresh and Preeti be rupees X rupees Y and rupees Z respectively. Now, therefore, total income of Ramesh, Suresh and Preeti altogether is equal to rupees 8,07,000. That is, X plus Y plus Z is equal to 8,07,000. Let it be equation number 1. Now, in this question, we have the percentage of the expense as 75%, 80% and 90%. That is expense. So, expense of Ramesh is 75%. Therefore, saving is 100 minus 75, that is equal to 25%. Expense of Suresh is 80%. Therefore, saving is 100 minus 80, that is equal to 20%. Expense of Preeti is 90%. Therefore, saving is 100 minus 90, that is equal to 10%. Now, since the saving of Ramesh is 25% of X, that will be equal to rupees 25 upon 100 X. Let it be equation number 2. Now, saving of Suresh is 20% of Y. Therefore, it will be in rupees as 20Y upon 100. Let it be equation number 3. Saving of Preeti will be 10% of X, that is rupees 10Z upon 100. Let it be equation number 4. Now, ratio of their savings are also given as 16 is to 17 is to 12. Let the common multiple be K. Therefore, saving of Ramesh is 16K. Saving of Suresh is rupees 17K and saving of Preeti is rupees 12K. Now, equating equation number 2 and 5, we get 25x upon 100 is equal to 16k. Therefore, x is equal to 16k multiplied to 100 upon 25. So, which will be, after solving, we get as 100 and 25 will be cancelled. We get 4 multiplied to 16k. Therefore, x is equal to 64k. Similarly, 20y upon 100 is equal to 17k. Therefore, y is equal to 17k multiplied to 100 upon 20. Therefore, y is equal to 85k. Similarly, 10z upon 100 is equal to 12k. So, z will be equal to 12k multiplied to 100 upon 10. Therefore, z is equal to 120k. So, from equation 1, 8, 9 and 10, we have 64k plus 85k plus 120k is equal to 8,07,000. That is equal to 269k is equal to 8,07,000. Now, therefore, k is equal to 8,07,000 upon 269, which is equal to 3,000. Therefore, k is equal to 3,000. Now, substituting the values, we get annual saving of Ramesh is equal to 16k, that is equal to 16 multiplied to 3,000. It will be equal to rupees 48,000. Annual saving of Suresh is equal to 17k. Therefore, 17 multiplied to 3,000 will be equal to rupees 51,000. Annual saving of Preeti is equal to 12k, that is equal to 12 multiplied to 3,000, which is equal to rupees 36,000. The annual saving of Ramesh, Suresh and Preeti are 48,000 rupees, rupees 51,000 and rupees 36,000 respectively. Question number 8. Compute the income tax payable by following individuals. Here, first question, Mr. Kadam, who is 35 years old and has a taxable income of rupees 13,35,000. Second question is, Mr. Khan is having 65 years of age and his taxable income is rupees 4,50,000. Miss Varsha, age 26 years has a taxable income of rupees 2,30,000. Now let us start this question from the first question. Mr. Kadam is 35 years old and his taxable income is rupees 13,35,000. Mr. Kadam's income is more than 10 lakhs. Therefore, the income tax is rupees 1,12,500 plus 35% of taxable income minus 10 lakhs. Now this will be from table number 1 because his age is 35 years. Therefore, 1,12,500 plus 30% of 13,35,000 minus 10 lakh. So we get 13 lakh with 35,000 minus 10 lakh is 3,35,000 multiplied to 30 upon 100 plus 1,12,500. So therefore we get the income tax as 1,12,500 plus 1,05,000 which is equal to 2,13,000. Now to calculate education cess, it is 2% of the income tax. That is 2% of this amount 2,13,000. Therefore education cess will be 2 upon 100 multiplied to 2,13,000 which is equal to rupees 4,260. Now we have to calculate secondary and higher secondary education cess, which is 1% of income tax. That is 1% of 2,13,000. So which is equal to 2,130. Equation number 3. So total income tax which is equal to income tax, that is from equation 1, plus education cess from equation number 2, plus secondary and higher secondary education cess, that is equation number 3. So we add it all together, we get 2,13,000 plus 4,260 plus 2,130 which is equal to 2,19,390. Therefore, Mr. Kadam will have to pay income tax of rupees 2,19,390 according to table number 1. Question number 2. Here Mr. Khan is 65 years old and his taxable income is rupees 4,50,000. Now since he is 65 years old, he will be taken from table number 2. Now his income falls in the slab between rupees 3,01,000 to rupees 5 lakh. Therefore, income tax is equal to 5% of taxable income minus 3 lakh, which is equal to 5% of 4,50,000 minus 3 lakh. Now 4,50,000 minus 3 lakh is equal to 1,50,000. Now 5% of 1,50,000 is rupees 7,500. That is equal to equation number 1. Now we have to calculate education cess, that is equal to 2% of the income tax, which is 2 upon 100 multiplied to 7,500 from equation 1. So that is equal to rupees 150. Let it be equation number 2. Now secondary and higher secondary education cess is 1% of income tax, which will be equal to 1 upon 100 multiplied to 7,500. So that is equal to 75 rupees. Equation number 3. Now total income tax is equal to income tax plus education cess plus secondary and higher education cess. So that is equal to 7,500 plus 150 plus 75, which will be total up as rupees 7,725. Mr. Khan will have to pay rupees 7,725 as income tax. Third question, Mr. Varsha, her taxable income is 2,30,000 and her age is 26 years. So, since her age is 26 years, she will be coming in table number 1 and her taxable income is less than 2,50,000. Therefore, Miss Varsha will not have to pay any income tax. Here we have completed problem set all the questions. Thank you, students.